Hey guys, welcome to the dating game with Troy Francis. So, I had a question from a female viewer. She says, "Hey Troy, thank you for the content and all the help that you give through your videos. I am dating a guy at the moment. He's 2 years older than me. He works in a good professional job and he seems generally to be a nice guy. However, I'm finding him to be very emotionally unavailable. What should I do? How should I handle this problem since I really like him?" Okay, so as with many of these questions that we get, it you always kind of want a bit more detail, really. Like, what does it mean to be emotionally unavailable? What does that phrase actually really mean? Does is it that he doesn't text you enough? Is it he doesn't, I don't know, respond with emojis? Is it that he doesn't open up about his feelings or whatever? Like, what is it specifically that he's not giving you that you feel like you need or you feel like you should be getting? Because we don't know, we're going to have to rely on conjecture and sort of guessing and similar situations that I've heard of this kind. I think often what women mean when they say emotionally unavailable is that he is closed off. He is evasive in some way. Okay. He is not telling her everything that she feels she needs to know about him. All right. And there's a couple of points to make here. The first point to make is that men are frequently less communicative than women anyway. Okay. And certainly we are brought up often not really to talk about our feelings. We don't particularly want to talk about our feelings necessarily. We don't necessarily think it's that productive. We are quite logical. We tend to be more factual and so on. And depending on the nature of this guy, you say he's in a good job. Maybe he's quite high value. He's quite busy. He's got other things on his mind. Okay. It could just be that he's busy, all right? And you are being oversensitive. So there is that possibility. Another possibility though is that you sense that this evasiveness in him, you sense that this lack of communication in him in whatever form that is taking is pointing to something darker and perhaps it is. Because often when guys are not uh being emotionally available, as women like to put it, the actual real reason for that is because you're not his number one priority. Okay. Or at least you're not solely his priority. Okay. That may mean, and I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but that may mean that he has other priorities. Okay. There are other women that he is speaking to. Now, whether he's sleeping with them or he's not sleeping with them, obviously we don't know, but he might be because this is the modern dating world. Okay. Most guys who are sought after by women, and he's one of them because you like him enough to have written an email in to ask this question. Okay. He is sought after by you. So therefore, other women are going to like him. Probably he has some value that he's bringing to the party. He's going to be talking to other women. Okay. He hasn't committed to you yet. And that, I'm afraid, is why he's being what you're calling emotionally unavailable. It is because you are not his main priority. So, what do you do in this situation? Well, the default thing that people always tend to do when they feel like they're losing something is they want to chase after it and they want to try and grasp onto it even more and pull it towards them, you know? And actually what you need to do is the opposite of that. What you actually need to do is you need to take a step back yourself. Because if it is the second thing, and it might well be the second point, that actually you're not the only girl he's talking to, you're not the only girl he's dealing with, you're not the only girl that he's sleeping with necessarily, then if that's not a situation you're happy with, then you need to emotionally start to distance yourself. You need to meet his emotional unavailability with a bit of your own emotional unavailability. Now, if the situation is different and it's not actually that, it's not actually that he's necessarily fooling around or he's necessarily got other plates, as we say, spinning plates, other women that he's talking to or whatever. Even if it isn't that, and he's just busy or he's just a kind of super logical guy and he doesn't really think in those emotional terms, or he is somebody who's just got other things going on and he just hasn't allocated enough time to you because of his business or his work or whatever, then the best way to remind him of what it is that he wants, because presumably he likes you too, right? In some way, otherwise he wouldn't be dealing with you at all. is fear of loss. Fear of loss is such a huge motivator for people, men and women. Okay. So as you start to pull back a little bit, as you start to withdraw a little bit, okay, the likelihood is that he is going to recognize, he's going to start to think, hang on a minute, she's not messaging me like she used to. I'm not seeing her name ping up on my WhatsApp all the time like I used to. I feel like she's pulling away a bit. And it's at that point that he is likely to start to engage with you more. Okay. When he feels like he's losing the thing that he wants, or something that maybe he didn't even realize how much he wanted, but now that you start to pull away, he starts to think, shit, I need to do something about this girl because I like her. Okay. Maybe I need to give her more attention. Maybe I need to take her out more. Maybe I need to do this and that. Maybe he'll even talk to you and sit down and say, hey, listen, I feel like we haven't been as close recently. Can you tell me what's going on? What's the situation here? Okay. That's going to be the way to bring him back into line. Okay. It's not going to be through chasing him. But either way, you need to develop a little bit of emotional distance from this situation yourself, just for your own sake. Because if it is the case that he's got other girls on the go and that's not something you're happy with, that's not something you want to be party to, then you're going to need that emotional distance anyway, because you're going to have to disengage totally from this at some point. Or if it's just that he's kind of a bit dumb and he just hasn't really thought about it, or he just doesn't, whatever, he just hasn't said things in the way that you would like him to say them, then, as I say, ultimately fear of loss is the best motivator that anybody can have. So pulling back a little bit is not going to help. It's not going to hurt. Okay. What I don't recommend is sitting down with him and having a big conversation about it. Okay. I just don't think that's really the way forward. I think it may possibly repel him, which is obviously the opposite of what you want. So be careful, play it cool, hang back a little bit, and just observe his behavior. And you know what? If he doesn't respond to this, if you pull back and then he just doesn't do anything to try and address that distance between the two of you, then the medium is the message, babe. That gives you the information that you need. He's not that bothered, okay? And you have to accept that, right? You have to just learn to be like, okay, fine, that's just how it is. He's not that bothered about me, actually. And then, move away and maybe start exploring other options, all right? But again, in closing, I would say women always will talk about emotional availability and everything. It's kind of fluffy, it's kind of woolly, it's undefined. What does it really mean? Could it just be down to the fact that men and women communicate differently? Could it just be down to the fact that he's busy, he's got a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders, he's making money, he's doing his thing, and you want a call every hour or every, couple of hours or whatever, just to satisfy that need in you? And maybe actually it's about the way that you're operating, and the way that you operate is different to the way that he operates. And maybe you just need to accept him on his own terms, particularly if he's a good catch, particularly if he's a guy of value who you could see a future with, or you could see something longer term happening. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful. Please do give me a like on the way out. Write your comments below. Let me know what you think about this particular topic. If you've got any other questions, you can email me, troy@realtroyfrancis.com, and we can either answer them in a video like this, or we can get you on the show live and we can talk about it on Zoom. So troy@realtroyfrancis.com, and please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Speak soon. Bye-bye.